Hi, everybody. My name is Bob, and I'm rich as hell. I also love women, and women love me. But for some reason, my jealous friends call me a womanizer. It's a word I first heard on the operation table. Dr. H said it. Hey, Bob. I recognize you. You remember me. I'm Shayla's ex-husband who left me for you. How she's doing? I hope my ex-wife is coming to take care of you now, said Dr. H, while I was squirming in my buttocks. I need to find out where your wife is. She and I were friends for a short time. Why didn't you warn me she was a pain in the ass? I barely got her out of my house, I told the doctor. Then you will get double asshole for stealing her away from me and for not making her happy. Get ready. We're going to cut on wrist, teeth, your buttocks. If it's 2 pieces now, we'll make it 4. He sat and called his assistant over and said something to her. I knew right away that things were terrible. I realized H had decided to take advantage of his fact that I had a knife stuck in my right buttock, and I was lying on his table. But he didn't know Bob very well. Bob wasn't born who will just let himself be killed on the operation table of a conniving doctor. While the assistant was doing something in her office, I gathered all my strength into the fist, got off the table, and headed for the exit. There were bloody footprints on the floor behind me. But I didn't have time to think about that. My legs could barely move from the pain. One leg was jumping forward, and the other, I could barely shuffle. It felt like nothing. But the fear of death at the hands of Dr. Hinch was more potent in me. When I reached the front door, he spotted me. He shouted after me, "Bob, you fool! Get back here! You won't get far with a knife in your buttock away," he said. "I won't let you take revenge on me in such a despicable way." I sat on the doorstep, gave him the middle finger, and ran for the exit. My beautiful Connie was already waiting for me there. We had met recently, and we had been in love forever. She didn't understand me at first either. "Bob, are you stupid? Why did you run out with a knife in your buttock? You're going to bleed to death in my car. And then, where am I supposed to put your corpse?" She resented. "Take me to another doctor, or better yet, make a house call. It's better that way. You make sure you don't deliberately kill me under the guise of surgery. That's what that H guy was going to do," I told Connie. My beautiful girl understood, and we raced off to deal with this awkward situation on our own. In the meantime, I will tell you how I managed to steal Dr. Hinch's wife, Shayla. Let me be clear. I had no intention of stealing her. I did it for the good of my son. Parents of growing children will understand. At the time, my son Kevin was 17 years old. One day he came home in a bad mood and locked himself in his room. My son and I lived alone. As I value freedom, which means his mother left me a long time ago. But let's talk about Kevin. He last spoke to me 3 days ago. I noticed he even stopped eating. I intervened when his teacher called me and told me my son was skipping class. "Kevin, what's bothering you? Why have you changed so much in 3 days?" I asked. "I don't want to leave," declared my son. And then I realized that this was serious. "Why did you decide that?" I asked and sat down next to him. "My girlfriend Ashley left me. I love her very much," said my son. "Ha! What a reason to be miserable. You will have a new girlfriend soon because you're my son. Then there will be another, and then another. It's a never-ending process. As long as you're alive, you'll always have new girls." I tried to tell my son the truth. but he had a stubborn nature. I don't want another girl. I want Ashley. Otherwise, I'm going to kill myself, Kevin declared. A few days passed and my son Kevin was still different. I began to worry even more. So, I suggested that my son met another girl. Her name was Kelly, and she was our new neighbor. Kelly was my son's age. I paid her money to take my son's mind off his constant thoughts of Ashley. Another couple of months went by, and Kevin deteriorated again. I don't want any more relationships with girls, he declared. Damn it. Maybe you're under some black magic? What happened again? I asked. Kelly dumped me. She said she was jealous of me and Ashley. Dad, did she want me to lie to her? I told her honestly that I loved Ashley and that I was spending time with her temporarily to heal my grief. What's wrong with that? My son was outraged. You're right, son. Kelly's stupid, I said because I had nothing else to say to him. What do you want to do next? Asked my son. If Ashley doesn't return to me, I won't do anything with my life. I won't go to school, and I don't want to go to university, he said. Then how will you run my corporation? I need an educated here. My corporation has a lot of money on its balance sheet. My family needs good specialists, I said, helping to make my son understand. I'm only interested in this if Ashley is around, Kevin said and went back to his room. But the next day, he came up to me with a question. Dad, how do you manage to have an easy affair with different women? Why can I do that? He asked. I wonder why it was really like this. After all, my son is a young and handsome guy, but he's experiencing so much suffering because of girls. I thought about how to teach him my art of winning women's hearts, and we needed teaching material, and that material was that cranky Ashley. I will teach you everything, son, I said. Only if you show me your girlfriend's address. We'll go together. You sit in the car, and I will talk to her mom. That's what we agreed with the son. Her mom's name is Shayla, he told me one last time. When I got to the door and was about to ring the bell, the door opened by itself. A gorgeous woman stood on the doorstep, wearing a light robe about the knee, and the robe was unbuttoned. She was as beautiful as a goddess. I didn't even have time to say hello before she took my hand and said, Why did you keep me waiting? You've done something wrong. As punishment, you will stay with me an hour longer. I silently nodded my head because, at that moment, I was ready to stay with her for eternity. Come on, I'm ready, she said and gestured toward the back room of the big house. I followed her silently. We found ourselves in a large room with darkened windows. Shayla threw off her robe, lay in the bed in the middle of the room, belly down, and stretched before me. Only now did I realize that she had mistaken me for a master. I intended to talk to her about our children while she relaxed in my arms, but she snored very quickly. She liked my massage so much that I left without charging her this time. I don't need to pay. Can I come tomorrow at this time to give you another massage? I asked, not giving up hope of talking about our children. Shayla shrugged and said, As you wish. So I started going to her daily while her husband Hitch was at work and her daughter Ashley was at school. When I tried to talk to her, she would gesture with her graceful hands to let me know I didn't need to speak. I have a deep respect for women, so I listened to Shayla. One day, she shocked me with a revelation. You're doing a great job, but I want more. You know what I mean? I didn't understand what more she wanted when I gave her a free massage daily. The door opened as I stood thinking, and Dr. Hinch came home. Damn, wrote the wrong time. Come back at the same time tomorrow. He has to come back later. We will make it tomorrow, Shella was whispered to me. The next day, I thought I will have enough. By then, Shella had gotten 8 free massages from me, and now she has loaded me with extra work. In all that time, she never even asked me about my name or if I was a master. From that day on, I stopped going to their house, and I told my son that his Ashley was worthless, just like her mother. But only a few days later, my doorbell rang. I opened it, and there was Shayla. Hello, professional. I'm sorry I don't even know your name. I'm also ashamed I didn't pay you. Here's your money. Why didn't you show up at the appointed time? We had a deal, she said, looking lonely into my eyes. We didn't agree on anything. You decided that I had to please you. Nobody asked me, I said. Shayla needed clarification. How could she be? I thought you wanted me. Our ordinary man want me, she said. I wanted you, but you ignored me. You didn't even ask my opinion. Maybe I wanted romance. Maybe I wanted foreplay. Maybe I even came to you to have a heart-to-heart talk. I took offense. Strange. This is the first time I've met such a man. Usually you don't like to talk much. Shayla was surprised. Believe me, Shayla, I didn't come to you to sleep with you. I wanted to talk about a serious subject. Do you realize that's how it works? Or do you want all men for the bad? Shame on you. Are you used to sleeping with everyone? Asked, deeply indignant. Oh no, I have good taste, man. Only sane people are suitable. She excused herself. In that case, I have a favor to ask of you. I hope you will do it for me. Ask her. What will you like? She asked. Tell your daughter Ashley to call my son Kevin, and not to hurt him from now on. If it works out, I will come to you, I told her. Shayla agreed, but she didn't want to go home. I will talk to my daughter. If your son loves her, they can be together. But I need to make sure you're not lying to me. Bob, to be honest, why are you ignoring me? How dare you do this to me? She resented me. I didn't have much time. I had already invited Molly, whom I'd met at the bar the night before, to my place. Then I had to improvise. Shayla, you're a wonderful woman. I'm happy to be in bed with you, but you see, I have principles. I can't just jump right into bed. I need time to saturate my heart with feelings. But why are you rushing me? Are you used to sleeping with men without getting to know their personalities? Asked her a counter question. Shayla was embarrassed. She blushed a little. Then she apologized for being unable to control her feelings. Meanwhile, Molly was texting me to say she was being soon. I barely escorted Shayla out of my house. Days I was past, Kevin returned to his former active life. I could tell from his mood that things were going well with that girl. Meanwhile, Shayla was sexting, missing, and waiting for me to pay attention to her. And I knew she was married to Dr. Hinch, and I respected the man. I didn't want to hurt him. A couple of months later, Kevin showed up in a bad mood again. What is it this time? Is your Ashley ruining your mood again? I asked. No, Dad. On the contrary, I can't get rid of her. Could you do something to get her off my back? declared my son. What's wrong with you? Have you fallen out of love with her? I asked. I don't know. But ever since I met Megan, Ashley has been annoying me. But she didn't want to deal with it. Why don't you talk to her mom? Have her explain to her daughter that I don't love her anymore, Kevin stated. This time, I wanted to avoid getting involved with the young ones. I figured Ashley would realize the helplessness of their relationship soon enough. But the girl was stubborn. Now, Shayla wasn't calling me to talk about her feelings. Her tone had changed. Bob, it would help if you had raised a decent son. He's been chasing after my daughter for a long time, getting her attention and breaking her heart. And now he's found another girl. What is that supposed to mean? My girl refused to go to school. She suffers day and night. Talk to your son about apologizing to Ashley, demanded Shayla. I'm sorry, sweet Shayla. I'm tired of those games. I don't want to get involved anytime, and I suggest you do the same. Let them decide for themselves, I told her. In that case, I will take revenge on you for myself and my daughter. She treated and hung up. I was calm because I hadn't expected any surprises from Shayla. She was utterly predictable. And when the police came to my house the next day, I changed my opinion of her. We're here to arrest you. You're suspected of sexually harassing a woman named Shayla, they said. These tough guys wouldn't listen to me. They cuffed my hands and took me to their station. One of them talked to me for a long time. I told him the truth. I didn't molest her. I only gave her a massage like she asked me to, I confessed. So you're a master? The policeman asked. No, I just happened to be a master and decided to play along with a beautiful woman, I said honestly. Then, additionally, you're accused of rendering services without proper documents, which carries a tax evasion charge. Did Shayla pay you money? You should have paid taxes on it, said the cop. She followed me with her money, but I didn't take it, I confess honestly. Then you were in Shayla's house illegally. She didn't invite you in. The charge is getting heavier, said the cop. I had to call my lawyer. He came over and got me off with fine. But I was pissed at that skirt cheeser Shayla. My lawyer helped me get the video camera footage from Shayla's house of me giving her an honest message while she was harassing me in every way possible. I then paid the lawyer to send this footage to Shayla's husband. The fate of these people did not interest me in the slightest. I was glad I had gotten my revenge on equal footing, but the worst began the next day and moved toward eventing. Someone knocked on the door. Bobby, open the door. I'm going to live with you now, shouted a woman's voice. So I left the house and saw Shayla on the porch with a suitcase in her hands. You got what you wanted, you little bastard. My husband kicked me out of the door. He was jealous of you, she said. And how did you explain you're leaving him? I asked calmly. I said I fell in love with you, and it's true, because we had feelings for each other. Do you remember how you gently stroked my back? How do you give me an earthly pleasure with every moment of your hands? Well, I do. Hitch never treated me like that, she said. I felt terrible about putting an abandoned woman out of the street, so I let her into my house, and she came to live with me. And I liked that. Shayla cooked us dinner sometimes. We'd talk in the evenings. We'd watch a movie together. I thought it was time to end my bachelor life and marry her. But one day, she found a way to surprise me again. I invited my friend Connie to visit. She's here on loan, and I want you to meet her, she said. I was tired of meeting new women then, but I agreed to tolerate her friend's company for one evening for Shayla's sake. We sat on the same table, sometimes laughing and laughing. Connie seemed to me an uninteresting woman without a sense of humor, but I stayed in their company for Shayla's sake, trying to joke and entertain them. The next day, Shayla called me in to talk about it seriously. Bobby, you've been too nice to my friend. What that's supposed to mean? She asked me. Oh, yes, I did it on purpose. I was being honest. Aren't you ashamed to flirt with my friend? You beat me away from my husband for that. I demand to be treated with respect, she said. Shayla, I greatly respect you, but I was polite to Connie. I wanted to say, but I suddenly realized that getting married wasn't a good idea. What will I have to put up with that kind of talks many more times? Then I decided to be honest with Shayla and said, I'm sorry. I was wrong. I'm not going to work out. Shayla took offense. 2 days later, she left me. But then, the unexpected happened again. On one of those days, her friend Connie said that Shayla suffered a lot and wanted me back. I asked her to explain that she was wrong then. Connie also agreed with me. Eventually, we realized that we were getting along better with Connie. That's how she stayed in my life. And right on, my buttock was hurting terribly, and I was rushing Connie to find a reliable doctor as soon as possible. Connie called someone she knew and asked for advice. Okay, Bobby, bear with me. They gave me the contact of the best doctor in town. We will go to him now, she said, and started dialing her phone. The new doctor dictated the address of the clinic. We quickly rushed there. I was immediately put on the operation table and brought into the office. I was howling in pain. The doctor's assistant immediately gave me a sleeping shot, and I only had time to remember the white spotlights on the ceiling. When I opened my eyes the next day, I was immediately terrified. So, Bob, how are you feeling? I told you you wouldn't get far with a knife in your buttock. I stitched it up so that in a month your buttock will be as good as baby's, he said. Thank you, Dr. H. I thought you were going to kill me on the operation table. I admitted honestly. It's a good idea, but it might have repercussions for me. If you die, my ex-wife might want to come back to me. And I'm finally happy and wanted her to be happy too. By the way, why is there another woman with you? Where's Shayla? Is she going to visit you? He asked. I decided not to say anything about it, so as not to spoil my warm relationship with the good Dr. H.